Okay. All right, everybody. What we have here is live streaming. I'm going to try to live stream. I'm trying to do several things today. But welcome to Doing Time Outside the Fence, pair up side by side as I get comfortable here. And I am going to have here is live stream. I'm going to try to live stream. I'm trying to do several things today. But welcome to Doing Time Outside. Okay, so I am messing around with trying to do a YouTube and getting YouTube online, and so they're not quite synced up. But it's my first time in quite a while to try to do this. But anyway, welcome to Doing Time Outside the Fence. Pair up side by side's not here today, but but this is Max Steger, and I wanted to just say welcome to everybody. When we're doing Time Outside the Fence, it's part of my coalition or the coalition of family and friends of incarcerated individuals. So it includes prison issues, it includes family issues related to that. So as we get started, I thought to help us kind of focus our time, I thought we would start with today's calendar from Mr. Rogers. Why would I do that? Mr. Rogers Cam, Fred Rogers, um, is very important in my life. I didn't know him personally, but through his show. But someone gave me a calendar, and I've gotten a couple of these, and I almost always enjoy and appreciate the sayings each day. So today's looks like that. There we go. So it says it's very dramatic when two people come together to work something out. What is really exciting to me is to see people with differing views come together and respect each other. Oh my gosh. That's that's a large part of what the work that the volunteer things that I try to contribute is about not just two people, but when two people can restore a relationship or can move forward in life together. So some of the things I do is I work with couples, work with individuals, a lot of relationship issues. Usually two people are involved, sometimes more. But anyway, I wanted to say um, so I thought that was a nice intro to what we're doing today. And then to kind of get the session going in a heartfelt way, not just in my head or in your head, but in our hearts, I thought I would read a guided meditation from Sarah Payton, Your Resonant Self. So I use this book quite a bit with clients, but it's not just for therapy, although it's, I think, very helpful as a supplement to the therapy that how do I try to approach understanding feelings. But the first one is just a breathing exercises from page 3 to like page 5. And I may skip some of this, but we're just going to take a moment because we're going to only go for a few minutes this week. So this very short guided meditation lies at the heart of our explorations. That is in the book. It is a breath practice that can give birth to the first glimpses of hope, of having warmth for oneself, and is the basis for all the meditations that follow in the book. And I listen to her meditations regularly. But anyway, we're going to start the meditation here. And if you're listening to someone else read this and would like to close your eyes, go ahead and do so. if you want to. Notice that you have a body. You have elbows, you have toe knuckles, and earlobes, and you have a torso. And your torso is where your lungs are and where you're bringing breath and life-giving oxygen into your being. Now notice that you are a breathing being and that you might be able to feel the sensation in your body where the movement of your breath is most alive. So while I do that, I just go, most alive feels right about here for me. So stop for a moment and close your eyes to see if you can feel the breath coming into you and going out of you. Where can you feel that sensation the most? In your nose, your upper sinuses, your mouth, or your throat? Is it in your lungs, in your ribs? Wherever the sensation has the most intensity, invite your attention to rest there. If you would like a way to track your focus, you can count your breaths to see how long you can stay with the invitation to keep your attention on the sensation of your breath. That is a common part of meditations. Whenever your attention wanders, as attention does, gently and with warmth, invite it to come back to your breath. Your attention always wants to make sure that you are focusing on what is most important. And in the beginning of learning meditation, it usually believes that almost anything else is more important than your breath. Thank you for thank your attention for its commitment to keeping you going with its alertness to what it thinks is important, and see if it is willing to come back to the sensation of breathing. You may find yourself noticing other body sensations like discomfort, aches, or pains. Acknowledge that your attention is trying to help you and find out if it is willing to come back to your breath. Sounds or changes in your environment may pull you away. Using warm acknowledgement, bring your attention back to your breath. You may find that you're trying to plan your day. Gently and with kindness, invite your attention to come back to the sensation of breathing. You might express the warmth by saying, "Hello, attention. How are you doing? Did you get distracted by something you thought was really worrisome? Do you want to contribute to my well-being and take care of me? We can worry about that later. I wonder if right now you'd be willing to come back to my breath." You might notice your voice tone in your thoughts, bringing quiet, respectful, and affectionate notes to the sound you make inside your own head. You might not speak with words at all, instead visualizing a gentle hand affectionately nudging your attention back to your breath. Repeat this reunion of attention and breath several times and see if this feels any different from how you've done a guided meditation in the past. Whenever it feels right to you, thank your attention for its efforts and let the lens of your focus expand out to include your body as a whole and a sense of yourself being part of your world. What sounds do you hear? How does your body feel? Can you feel your feet on the floor? What are your hands doing? Let yourself gently wiggle or move a body part as you bring yourself fully back to whatever your attention would like to move toward in regular life. Of course, we're here today doing time. We only have a couple minutes. So I'm just going to follow up with that as you come back, starting the time. We used to, usually I'd like to record longer, but I have an appointment that I have to get to in a few minutes. And I may run over a few minutes, but that's okay. I still have time. I have some important things. And why would we want to do this? We tend to, it doesn't have to be religious. Some of us could be religious and pray, but being able to connect to our spiritual center, doing this work of, supporting a loved one or a friend in prison. This sounds like just stuff I don't know. I don't hear quite this combination. This is combination that I put together at this point. But if you're on my Facebook page, Coalition of Family and Friends of Incarcerated Individuals, or our group, I should say, the one that I started. On there, I talk about nonviolence. I try to make a post every day. Sometimes I have to catch up. Sometimes I work ahead. But I try to be focused on nonviolence because nonviolence is who we are. Violence has contributed to our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors, our community members who have ended up in prison. So this kind of meditation or other kinds of caring, loving kinds of connection can be very important, although we don't always have time. If you have someone in prison, you might be very busy. Running down to visit or over to visit, depending on where you're at, and then trying to connect with them, having just a short time, talking to them on the phone, trying to maintain a household or your life, your work, children if you have them, trying to take care of them and care about them. And let's just send some energy or a prayer to those who are in prison and for ourselves as we do this, and we do this together. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's why. And so I've been trying to understand nonviolence. That is a really hard challenge, being nonviolent, by the way. I certainly do not live up to that. When I read about Gandhi's work, I just get overwhelmed. But it's so important going forward because caring for ourselves and each other and not and having a struggle with the systems that got our loved ones there, the lack of care, maybe addiction work, the society's picture and punishment of people, criticism of people who are addicted, the shame that's there. Just one of the ways that happens. But the people are real and are deserving of love and are loved, if anybody, by the God I believe in. And I think other people believe that too. There's a lot of people, but really to make a difference, to the system, I believe in, that's why I talk about nonviolence, because I think it plays into so much of our lives here. So I'm kind of like reframing the work, this podcast or video cast. But I also wanted to go to some announcements. We're going to run a little bit more than 15 minutes. We're trying to learn new ways. I'm trying to figure out several things at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this is meaningful to you. That is my intention. So, and hopefully we can connect on my on the Facebook page. I said mine. There's a number of people involved and people who contribute to that page. I just happened to start it, so that's why I think that I talk about my Facebook page. But I wanted to share with everybody about the town halls. If you haven't heard about the Colorado Department of Correction town halls. So they're going to be sharing important updates about House Bill 251013, which introduces changes to the visitation policies across all CDOC facilities. So there was an email that went out. If you contact Lisa Wiley at the Department of Corrections, CDOC at state.gov is how to reach her. I mean, I believe I have posted about it, and I will try to post again about these. But there's going to be one in 2 days, but the sign up, the RSVP was yesterday at 3 p.m. Um, they're out probably today. They usually are off that day because that's where I visit the family member at. But they have one in Canyon City from 9:30 to 11:30. But there is also one on July 23rd from 10 to 12 at the Denver Women's Correctional Facility on Havana Street in Denver. And they ask that you RSVP by 3 p.m. on July 21st. And that's to Linda R. Davis at state.co.us. Linda.r.davis at state.co.us. So, and then there's a virtual session on July 24th from 3 to 5 p.m. So if you can't make it in person, you can try to make it on the virtual one in the afternoon, and you can RSVP by 4 p.m. on July 22nd to cdoc at state.co.us. You can also write Lisa Wiley, she's part of Constituent Services, and you can submit any questions in advance. So you can do that. I just saw that. Usually, because the following week we have a citizen advocate meeting. So that town hall is about visitation and the changes to visitation, because now visitation is part of that experience in the Department of Corrections. The other thing going on the July 30th is a citizen advocate meeting in person, and it's going to be at the East Canyon Complex Visitor Center on the afternoon, and it's from 1 p.m. And they ask that you sign it RSVP by July 22nd at 5 p.m. and send an email to cdoc at state.co.us. If you have questions, you'll also want to get them in by 5 p.m. on July 22nd. So there may be some things that you'd want to move forward with there, okay, to ask about. So those are a little different, and maybe they'll be related, but the questions, you go to, the timing is just going to be difficult to ask those questions, but they can be very informative, and to find out what's going on with the systems, with things like canteen and so on, individual issues, who to contact, who to talk to, so you can meet the executive board or the executive directors, board of directors. I guess that's how they say it for the Department of Corrections. Usually Andre Stansel, the director of prisons. The leader of prisons. It just doesn't sound right as I say it, but they have that too. So if you'd like to go to that, you can go to that one on July 30th. So hopefully this makes sense. I wanted to remind you of these announcements because they can play into, it's not for the federal people who might be federal prison in Colorado or in the jails, but this is for those people who are involved in, have family or friends or people they care about in prison. You can go ask as citizens and advocate for your issues or concerns, and you can get some answers. They're not always things that we want to hear, but those are always a possibility there. So anyway, so thank you for joining Doin Time Outside the Fence with Max Stager, and be sure to visit us at Coalition of Family and Friends of Incarcerated Individuals. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I hope this was helpful. I hope you feel a little centered in your busy, active day, and then you're able to make it to one or both of these meetings if you're involved in visiting or you have concerns about the prison. So we will take care, and take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye.